second chance in the game.
When I created our defense 3 years ago, I had kind of one mission. I wanted to make sure that we looked similar on every single snap, that it would be very hard for an offense to be able to do certain things to us. So I wanted to have a variety of different fronts, and I also wanted our box divorced from our defensive backs, all right? So we're able to play a lot of different coverages divorced from our box. So we really have no tendencies on we're going to have a certain front to a certain coverage. So here I'd like to show you about how we have our coverages and we're able to play against different formations, 2x2 and 3x1 formations, and have different coverages against those formations and have some different looks from our box. So here we go. So first thing is we're going to get our match coverage. All right, this is out of a 2x2 attached formation. All right, as I talk about, I'm just two receivers by two receivers. One of those receivers is attached to the formation. I think we use that terminology to be very simple with our guys. They don't need to know that that's some sort of doubles or a king's formation and have to memorize that. It's simple. It's 2x2. What's that guy? Oh, he's attached. So that's kind of how we talk to our coaches, how we talk to our guys, and we're able to be on the sideline and talk to our guys. Hey, was that 3x1 extended or was that a wing? What kind of formation was that? And they're able to get that information to us. So we're playing our match coverage. All right, so essentially we're going to either rush 3 or 4 rushers in our match coverage. Everyone is playing man coverage across the board for our DBs besides our high hole player. All right, our linebackers in a 2x2 formation, all right, are going to have a rule of they need to be inside number 2. They have any sort of under from a safety, all right, or they have the tailback if they out leverage them, all right. So that's their base rules. So here we are actually going to get we're rushing our stack linebacker. We're getting a play action post. Now we give our corners the option to play press or off inside at 7 yards. So over here we're pressed, over here we're off inside. Our safety that owns any attached tight end, we want them about 8 yards outside leverage, and we're outside leverage over here with our other safety. So we get play action, all right. We're not really fooled by our linebackers because they're reading the guards and they see high hat. We'll tell our linebackers to read the shoulder of the guards. So they're not too fooled on the mesh, all right. Our safeties are guarding their players in man coverage. Our corner over here is in man, and we're playing our off man where we're going to get the post. And our helps over here in the post. Our post player in this coverage reads the mesh of the quarterback, so you can see he slows down a tad, sees its pass, and then rebacks to the radar of the quarterback. And our corner gets a near interception here. We'll see it from the end zone really quick. Playing man coverage there. Good patience by our safety, all right, to now know, hey, it's just a chip block and he's on to the new route. Our linebackers are getting to their landmarks. We tell them to read the radar of the quarterback, and quarterback's got to throw a pretty good ball because our safety's coming. So he may see our safety coming late and tries to throw it low. And we almost end up with a pick, but it's 3rd and 6, so we're off the field. So now to the same formation, 2x2 attached. We're playing our match concept, but instead we'll have a low hole player from our linebacker, and we'll have a linebacker dedicated to the tailback, and he will rush to cover him. So this is another version of this coverage. All right, now we're pressed across the board with our corners, still playing outside leverage here. All right, we're getting 3-step. So our post player is buzzing his feet, reacting. All right, we like to tell our linebackers to tell the DBs that this is quick game. All right, so at this point, our DB knows that if I'm getting one break, that's the only break I'm most likely going to get because he's heard quick from the sideline. Now, I'd like our linebacker to do a little bit better job, but he owns the tailback in man coverage. All right, he's blocking, he should be adding on. So we'll see it from the box here. tailback's blocking, add on. Our whole players should be going over here to the quarterback's radar. But we're doing a nice job across the board covering the quick game. So now we're running cover 0. We got all 6 guys on the line of scrimmage, but our DBs look the same as they have the last 3 plays. All right, we have versions of this where we'll drop 2, 3 guys out, even potentially 4 guys out, and play our base defense. But here on 3rd and 8, we're going to play cover 0. Our safety, high safety, has got the tailback in man coverage. Once he sees that tailback or the quarterback, once the tailback blocks or he sees the quarterback throw the ball, all right, he's pursuing hot to the ball. We don't do a good job of tackling here, all right, but our high safety who owns the tailback in man coverage and our A-gap player, all right, who happens to be a linebacker from the other side, all right, there's our linebacker from the other side that's going to chase this down. Normally you're not getting a bunch of guys running down on the cover 0. You're not getting defensive linemen running down. When you're putting 3 linebackers on the field, you're putting a lot of speed. So that's an A-gap blitzer coming down on 3rd and 8, tackling the bubble screen, all right, for 4 yards, and we're off the field. So here we're going to play our cover 2 concept. Again, you can see we're looking the same as what we would. Now there's 2 by 2 attached to the boundary. They're going to motion, so it's going to be 3 by 1 attached here, all right? And we're playing our cover 2 concept. So in our cover 2 concept, the overhang players are your deep half players. We're going to rob the hash from our high safety. Our corners are flat players. Our other linebacker, all right, that isn't on the rush is going to go rob the hash area to the boundary here. And our middle linebacker that isn't on the rush is going to play the deep hole. So you can see they're trying to run a throwback. We're a huge man team. Great play in the red zone against a huge man team. We're happen to play cover 2 on this snap, so we're pretty fortunate that we have our cornerback here for the throwback. All right, but how we lined up, we look like we're playing man 100% of the time when we line up, so we're able to play zone coverages and catch people off guard. So we're able to end up with the sack here on 2nd and 6 in the red zone, and that actually takes them out of field goal range there when we do a nice job on 3rd down. So now we're playing our cover 3 concept. We look very similar, whether we're pressed or we're playing 7 yards off or inside. We want to look the same, all right, across the board. We're going to rush 1 player. Our overhang players are the flat players. Our corners are the deep 3rd, doing nothing special there. Our linebackers are in charge of being inside of number 2, and we're going to rush 1 linebacker. So the quarterback catches the ball, sees that we're off 7 yards, and thinks, man, I can go throw this hitch. Now we end up dropping the pick 6 here, but our safety knows that he's got help rerouting number 2. His job is to be inside of number 1 at the end of the play, and that's where he's at. He's reading the radar of the quarterback, so he's flying, and almost a pick 6. And this is actually our young cats at the end of the game playing our cover 3 coverage pretty good here. So now we're 2 by 2 extended. All right, so it's 2 receivers by 2 receivers. Everyone's extended from the formations, how we talk about this. We're playing our match coverage. As you can see, we got 6 guys on the line of scrimmage. We're going to drop 2 of those guys out. And we're doing the same thing that we did before. We're man here, we're man there. We're man with our safeties. Our high hole players reading the mesh of the quarterback. It's drop back pass, so we're going to pedal. And we want to force all the inside verticals to our high hole player. And we want to use the sideline as our friend. We'll play inside press to the field, all right, if the ball's on the hash. And we want to play outside press to the boundary. If ball's in the middle, we want to play outside press on both sides. So there's our rush. We're able to rush 4. All right, they leak the tailback out late. And we're playing our base coverage on 3rd and 10, forcing a throw out past the red line, all right, and this is what we want. We're going to live on that our corner does a good job, and they have to make the perfect play and the perfect catch, the perfect throw. And we're able to get a hit on the quarterback on 3rd and 10, and we're off the field. So now we're doing that same coverage, but now we're rushing to cover the tailback with our linebacker to his leverage side. So our other linebacker is going to be a hole player. All right. Over here we have a concept of like a quarters read, so they're reading 2 to the flat. Sometimes we'll do this to the boundary because there is not a lot of space. So he takes 2 to the flat. He's going to take now number 1. Up top, we're just playing straight man. They could switch this if they want, but it plays perfect. They're running a switch vertical concept. He becomes a safety, funnel him to our high hole player. He becomes the corner, force him outside the numbers, and run with him. All right, we're making that quarterback make a perfect throw and the receiver make a perfect catch there. And then why I like our defense is generally we always have a guy high. Even if this ball is caught, we're going to live to play another down if he makes the tackle there. So you can see the linebackers rushing the cover, the tailback. He's got him, and he's the hole player. So here we're going to rush 5. We're playing a true cover 1. We saw this clip on the last. We're going to add on with the linebacker on the tailback, so it's going to be a 6-man rush, but we're playing cover 1, so we're going to have a dedicated deep hole player. We're playing man across the board, all right, and you can see whatever we're doing in the box is, different from whatever we're doing in the secondary. We can do a variety of things, 3, 4, 5, 6-man rushes, and play the same structure from our defensive backs. So we're able to get a sack because we all have pretty good coverage, and we got a post player in case they're trying to target the middle of the field. So now we're actually going to rush 6. We're going to flare control, all right, on the tailback, and we have a post player. So we're automatically going to rush 6. It's going to look like cover 1, and we'll flare control if the tailback goes and runs a route. So you can see the quarterback's hot. It's 3rd and 8. And everyone is covered. And we almost end up here with the interception on 3rd and 8, but leads to a nice punt. Here's the end zone shot. So pretty nice pressure that we didn't see in the last film. We're running a pick stunt with our linebacker and our nose guard, and we're running a cross dog stunt over here away. We're able to get some good pressure on the quarterback and have him get rid of that on 3rd and 8 there. So now we're 2x2 extended still. It's 3rd and 2. You can see we look exactly the same as what we have on all of our previous clips. All right, besides sometimes our corner will play off and inside. So that's kind of the one thing. But from that, you've seen man coverage, you've seen zone. And we're going to play a cover 2 concept here on 3rd and 3. So they're going to run number 2 to the flat and try to rub them, which would be great against man coverage, which we play, 80, 90% of the time. Here we happen to be playing cover 2, so pretty good call. Our overhang safeties, once they feel the quarterback is turned away from the coverage, they're going to go be our deep half players. He's going to rob the field hash, rob boundary hash, deep hole player, all right, kind of Tampa 2-ish, and we are going to play the flats with our corners, funnel everything inside, get to the quarterback's radar, and on 3rd and 3 here, we're able to make a stick for 2 yards, and we bring up a big 4th and 1 play. You can see our safety, knowing where he needs to go, watching the quarterback, and again, our linebackers are in charge of telling the DBs that it's quick game, so they know if it's one break, that's all we're going to see. So now here is cover 3 out of 2x2 extended. Our flat players, all right, we tell these guys that they need to be inside of number 1 at the end of the play. Our linebackers will be our inside 2 players. Our corners are our deep third players, and then we have our middle third player, which will play his technique a little bit different than our match coverage because he's not going to read the mesh as much, and he's just going to be pedaling out here. So we're able to be in our stack front. It's just a three-man rush. We saw this play from the sack video, but he just beats him inside. But from the coverage, there's not a lot of places to go with the ball here. We do a pretty nice job there. And on 2nd and 8, we get a 9-yard sack playing our mix-up coverage. All right, so what do they do when they come and be condensed in a formation? So we call this 2 boundary by 2 boundary bunch extended. All right, so essentially a bunch over here, a bunch over here. They're all extended. This is a big mesh team, all right? Again, we play 80-90% man. You're going to see a lot of mesh. What do? All right, we're going to simply allow our linebackers and our safeties to call under routes, all right, pass things off. Now, is it always pretty? No. So in this case, we get our linebacker goes right now to the tailback, all right? We get the under call. So our linebacker takes the first thing under. All right, we get an under call from the other side. Our linebacker takes the next thing under, which allows us to double team the vertical route over here and allows us to essentially single team this route, and he becomes a robber against this high cross coming over. So we're 2nd and 10. Everything's kind of covered. The one route they want to get to at the sticks is double teamed. So they're throwing their outlet over here to the tailback. And the biggest thing in this coverage is our linebacker's got to get on his horse when 2 out leverages him, or excuse me, the tailback out leverages him. So here he knows the tailback's out leveraged him. He's running. All right, he's tracking that inside hip. If that ball's caught, he's going to rosy roll him, and we're going to have a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. All right, it's incomplete, so we're looking at a 3rd and 10 here. So here we're going to rush 5. We're playing a cover 1. Because of the stack, they're going to run a read of number 2, a quarters read essentially. Over here, we're running just straight man, and we're rushing 5. Our linebacker right here has the tailback in man coverage. And quarterback's hot, got to get rid of the ball. He does, and we're able to knock that out there. So now we're running a cover 2 concept. This is 4th and 1. Again, our overhang players are deep half players. Our high safety is going to come rob number 2. Our boundary linebackers robbing 2 to the boundary. Our field linebacker is going to be our hole player here. We got everything pretty covered up. All right. One thing that I would teach this guy is he's kind of locked into the route, not necessarily his area and the quarterback. So he's got to do a little bit better job. All right. Over here, kind of the same thing. They're kind of locked into routes. I guess maybe it's 4th and 1, so they think the ball might be coming. So they're kind of hugging some stuff up, would be my guess here. But we're able to get the sack on 4th and 1 for -5 yards. Puts our offense in a pretty good field position at the 35-yard going in. Here we're in a 4-down front, just rushing 4. And it's just a straight-up rush. So now we're in our 3-by-1 plays. So this is 3-by-1 attached. The tight end is attached to the formation. We're playing our match coverage. So everyone owns their man in coverage. Our linebacker will have a linebacker owning the tailback in coverage, and the other linebacker will be a hole player here. And our safety, making it look like we could play a cover 2 concept, is going to be working here to the deep hole. It's sprint out. We're all covering our guys. Quarterback throws it up. And again, another reason I like this coverage is at the end of the day, if this ball is caught, we got a chance to, maybe tackle him before the end zone. See our safety. All right, I'd like to see our safety take a little bit better angle there, but a pretty good 3rd and 8, sprint out, incomplete pass. We're forcing them to either go for it on 4th down or punt to us in a good field position. So here we're playing our cover 3 concept against the 3-by-1 attached. So He'll be a deep third player, deep third player. He's inside a 1. He'll be inside a 2. Our linebacker will be inside 1 to the boundary. Our other linebacker is going to be inside number 3, and we're going to rush one guy. So we're in the stack look. Here, we show it a little early, but I think he's pretty locked into the quarterback, that the quarterback, all right, young quarterback, looked out over the coverage, and now he's to the O-line, getting ready to catch the snap. So he unravels a little bit here in his bail. Good patience here. This guy knows that his rule is he needs to be inside of number 1, all right, as he's watching the quarterback at the end of the play. So he's very patient, all right. He reroutes number 2 with his alignment, all right, makes him go inside, and he's able to get out here. Now I'd like him, once he sees this now, break flat, but we're forcing on 2nd and 10 a field hitch, which is the longest throw on the field in quick game. So that's pretty good for us. You can see our linebackers are all locked in the QB, so you can see they're all working this direction because that's where the quarterback's looking. All right, so now we're in a 3-by-1 wing formation. So we're 3-by-1. This guy, instead of being attached, is a wing. We have 2 ways to play this, all right, out of our match coverage. This safety can own that wing no matter where he goes. The other way is our safety will wobble. If this wing goes back door, this safety is going to come down low, and this safety will become our high player. All right, this safety is going to stay to the field here, or the tight end, the wing's going to stay to the field, so our safety to the field will own him in man coverage. It's 3-by-1. We have a 4-strong alert, so we're telling our linebacker, field linebacker, you own the tailback, boundary linebacker, you become the hole player. And pretty good coverage here. We get turned around, but we say if you get turned around, speed turn, take a good angle, because if you're getting turned around, you're probably getting a slot fade or a corner. He needs to take a little bit better angle. But if the ball is caught, we got our safety out here in front to make sure we live to play another down. 2nd and 10, we force him into a 3rd and 10 situation here. Here we're playing our cover 3 out of a 3-by-1 wing. So we're 3-by-1 wing. He motions. He's going to come back. We're playing off and inside with our corner, but he's going to be our deep third player. Inside 1, inside 2. We're inside 1 over here to the boundary, deep third, deep hole. All right, and we're an inside 3 with our field linebacker. So they're running a kind of flanker drive concept. Now we tell our linebackers, and we're not doing a great job here, don't run in our zone coverage with the drive route. So he's doing a bad job, all right, because they want to throw this, but because of the trips, we end up with an extra zone player over to the field, so he's there for that route coming back. We get a scramble, and on 1st and 10, the play goes for -1 yard when they throw it to the drive route. So again, we're telling our linebackers, hey, don't worry in our zone coverage about getting an under from the drive and going to collision that guy. Keep sinking, and communicate. Nate does a pretty good job here, and he rallies there for the tackle. Here we're 3-by-1 extended, now playing our match coverage, and we're a tad bit confused, all right? We wanted this safety matched up against the corner. The beauty of this defense is you can essentially play basketball out on the turf. You can create matchups. Your corner necessarily doesn't need to be your corner. All right, your safeties don't necessarily need to be your safeties. You need 4 great coverage guys that can play man coverage, and you can kind of dictate some matchups. So we wanted this slot player man against this wide receiver because this was their best wide receiver, and he was our best slot cover guy, all right? And this guy's normally a slot receiver for them. We couldn't get it lined up, so he hustles back. They find a matchup, all right? We shield kind of towards the weaker corner of the 2, and they catch us in the middle of the field. So normally we'd want our boundary corner, who's the better of our 2 corners, on this single side, all right? But they catch us in the middle of the field. They're going pretty quick. we're fortunate enough to get lined up. Everyone does their job. Our safety's playing the quarterback's eyes, and we have pretty good coverage. He's got to make a perfect throw, and if he does, he's going to get punished by our high hole safety here. But not too much better for scrambling around late, being able to get in position here. And we end up getting a hit on the quarterback, running our stunt here, which I think speeds up the quarterback. So now we're playing cover 3. We're 3-by-1 extended, playing our cover 3 concept. Here, deep third. He'll be inside 1, inside 2. Our linebacker will be inside 3. Our other linebackers inside 1 here to the boundary. So we're just a 3-man rush. We're 2nd and 9. And our nose guard on the 3-man rush ends up here with a sack, which we're pretty excited about. He's getting double teamed, really triple teamed. He started off getting double teamed from the left. He ends up getting double teamed a little bit to the right and just working hard, getting after it. And in our cover 3, maybe we confused the quarterback thinking he was going to get man coverage. Now it's zone. And a 3-man rush, we're getting a sack with our nose guard that was triple teamed on the play. So now this is our cover 2 concept, a 3-by-1 extended. Our flat player, deep half player, he will exit and be our deep half player, flat. He's going to be inside of 2. Our linebacker will be, we're a 3-man rush here, so we got a deep hole player inside of 3 and an imaginary inside of 2 in this case because of the tailback, an inside 2 player here. So we're playing a Tampa 2 down here out of a 3-man front. Quarterback looks there and sees a cloud coverage, so he tries to back shoulder it, which we're in the perfect coverage for that. Here playing a hard corner here to the boundary. One thing I would take from this is I want our corner to force him inside because that's where our help is in this coverage. But again, same look with our DBs playing a cover 2 concept as what we did playing cover 3, a man blitz concept there. So now we're getting into what we call a cluster. So this is 3-by-1 cluster. So it's a 3-man bunch essentially. This is our base concept, way how to do it. We're anticipating some under route from one of these 3 wide receivers. The tailback is a 4-strong alert, so we're thinking tailback's going to swing, most likely. We're going to get one replacing that tailback to the other side of the field. So if one goes under, we'll let him go to our linebacker, give him an under call, and we'll have our safety replace the tailback in the other 2 routes. If the tailback does not come, then we're going to double team one route because we'll be 3 over 2 here. On the back side, we're playing man coverage. So there's our one under route that we talked about. All right, he doesn't go all the way under, he stops. So we hug up here, hug up here, hug up here. There's our deep hole player. And on 2nd and 9, all right, they're throwing a corner ball. Now, one thing that I like is we'll put our corner at the top of this 3-man cluster adjustment because we feel he's probably the best athlete of the 3 guys. He needs to probably play the deepest route, so he'll have the first vertical route. So that's something I like we do. Traditionally, you'll have a safety play that role. We have our corner do it because he's probably the best athlete of the 3 guys. So here we're essentially playing the same coverage. Now we saw this in the sack video. Now we're rushing to cover with our linebacker. We're lined up in a 6-down front. We're only going to rush 4, but our linebacker that owns the tailback and man coverage will rush if he blocks. Our other linebacker will become a low hole player for us. So there's our low hole player. We undered because we know we have help. So we're 1-on-1 with our linebacker on the under route. We're double teaming the most vertical route. Our outside player, safety, has the first thing out to him and he hugs it up. Our guy in the tailback is now going to rush because the tailback blocked. And we still have a deep hole player reading the quarterback and all of his movements. And on 3rd and 4, we get a sack down in the red zone, which is always great because now instead of a touchdown, you're holding them to a field goal attempt. Our next play is just an example of cover 0. We also saw this on the sack clip. they'll just play first in, first out, and he cleans up. We'll blitz, and then our safety is man coverage on the tailback. He sees the ball is out and the tailback blocks. He becomes a free player for us. So it's nice to have a free player at 12, 15 yards rather than a linebacker guarding the tailback at 5 or 6 yards, becoming that free player. And on 4th and 7, bring some heat, make the quarterback throw, and we're off the field. So that's kind of what I had for you today. If you need to reach out to me at any point, my email is davis5@rose-holman.edu. I'd love to talk to you about what we do here in either our fronts, our movements, or our coverages. Thank you.